Good morning. I'm Sandy Walden, your Master Grief Coach and Master Grief Coach Trainer. At the time of this recording, we're a few days into January. In fact, today is the 5th of January. And I received a message this morning that really tugged at my heart. And I wanted to talk about it here because it's not an unusual experience. Pardon me. Um, this person talked about having moved through the holidays that have just passed in a way that felt pretty good, even though the grief was less than a year old and so very, very fresh in many ways. And yet, here we are in the very beginning of January, and they were feeling as though that grief was once again very deep, very fresh in many ways. So let's talk about that. Many have obligations where you can't just stay in your bed or curled up in your recliner. And believe me, I apologize. I didn't mean to say just because guess what? That's enough when that's what you can do. But if you have small children, if you are the breadwinner with your family and you need to get out and be productive in your job, there are obligations that some of us simply don't have a choice that we must do. Getting out of bed can feel like an insurmountable task. I get it. And I want you to know this is natural and normal. Yeah, here we go with the deep breaths again. Here we go. I once again want to encourage you to go back to that place of taking the most gentle, loving care of yourself possible. Please don't ask more of yourself than is reasonable. We've just come through the holidays, and with the holidays, there often comes a feeling of buoyancy, um, excitement, hope that matters. And in January, many people feel a let down. The excitement of many things is over. Holiday decorations have gone down. We are back to what we call normal, except that it's not normal for us when we're grieving. Keep in mind, too, for many of us, January is cold, so we find ourselves isolated in different ways inside with this pandemic. That's, of course, exacerbated to an incredible degree. And for many, it's dark. Where I live, we can go days and days and days without seeing much sunshine. It can be very, very overcast. And this can really feed into our feeling of overwhelming sadness. So, once again, I encourage you to take a little time, especially in the morning when things are fresh, and feel what's okay in your world. Do you have a home that's safe and comfortable? Did you get a good night's sleep? Are you in a place with people you love? Do you have enough to eat today? I ask you to begin thinking about things that you can be grateful for. They can be very, very small. It might be those expected slobbery kisses that are going to be showing up on the cheek. And if your children are anything like mine when they were small, they're probably going to be covered with jelly. And feel that gratitude, feel that love. Those feelings of overwhelm and, oh my goodness, I have all these things to do. It's normal for them to show up. Ask yourself if it's all right to set them aside for now. Set them aside and go back to, yes, I need to feed these children. Yes, I need to get ready for work. And I'm so grateful I have these children in my life. They warm my heart. These deep breaths. Set aside the overwhelm. It'll be there when you're ready for it. And breathe in the gratitude. Breathe in the love. Take some small steps to take really good care of you. Yes, if you've got that job, you've got the children, you have other obligations, there are things that need to be done. Are there pieces that you can ask someone to support you with? Is there someone you can talk to for a little while when you're at work on a break? Is there a place you can go to refresh and recharge, even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes? Not reading the news, not listening to something that's going to hurt, but perhaps just taking those slow, deep breaths and recalling a memory that fills your heart. If you're home with children or caretaking for a family member or friend, boy, I remember how overwhelming those days could be. And that's in the best of circumstances. If at all possible, give yourself a time out. If they take a nap, let that be time when you recharge as well. Again, let's try and avoid things like the news and things that'll upset us. And let's focus on nurturing ourselves. What can you do to bring yourself a little peace and joy in that moment? Is it time for a hot cup of coffee? A warm cup of tea? How can you reconnect with your heart and your healing in moments? Do this throughout your day. If it's possible to set up for someone to have a little chat with you now and then, maybe you need to vent, maybe they do. And always come back to what's working well. Keep in mind, every emotion that we have has got a lifespan of its own. They last for about 90 seconds, about. It's not a timer, unless we feed them. Do we choose to feed what's healing us, what's feeling a little better? This gets easier with time. There are other things that we can do that we sometimes don't think about. For instance, when I come into this room, even though at the time I'm recording this, it's 10 o'clock in the morning, um, and everything is white because we've had snowfall the last few days. But I turn on the lights because I need that light to feel a little bit more cheerful, a little bit lighter. Can you open up the blinds? Can you spread the window curtains wider? There's something that's been proven again and again to be really helpful about having light bulbs that have the natural settings in it. I think they're called ot lights. I can't remember. I guess I should have looked it up before I called, but this just occurred to me. I've used them in the past, and I certainly know other clients who have found this to lift their mood, to have those lights on them when they're sitting and reading or knitting or doing needlepoint or whatever they do, but bringing those natural rays of sunlight in our environment lifts and elevates our mood. More than anything, I ask you to be kind and gentle to yourself. It's not unusual to feel this deepening of sadness at the first of the year. Please know this will ebb. It's the time to go back to taking the most gentle care of yourself. Are you drinking enough water? Please do. Are you moving your body? When we're inside the house, we often do not get as much movement if we should. If you have children or animals that you're taking care of, how about turning something on YouTube or a video, maybe a gentle exercise program, yoga. My grandsons, oh my gosh, I was amazed to find a few years ago that they were doing yoga from a video when they were little guys. I mean, we're talking 2 and 3, and they loved it. Were they perfect? No. Guess what? I'm not either. But it helped them calm and it gave time for other people to relax. What can you do to bring some gentle movement in your family? How about a dance party? Oh my golly. Oh my golly. How about putting on some fun kid music and marching around the house or dancing to a song? Because it moves your body and it changes your mindset because it changes your focus. It doesn't have to last for hours. A couple of minutes is enough to reset where we are right now. If you'd like to know more about these things, if you feel like you'd like to have a conversation, let me know. Send me a private message. The truth is, these things evolve, but we're not always moving forward. Sometimes when we walk this path, I always think about it as a journey through grief into healing. It's not always straightforward. There are times we need to rest, and there are times we take a step or two back. But no, you are not going back to the beginning. You're further along than you were. You can do this, and you're not alone. Where I ask you to go back is I ask you to take the most gentle care of yourself possible. Make sure the food that you're putting in your body is healthy and nutritious. Make sure that the music, the TV, the books are something that nurture your heart and help you to feel better. Notice what is going right in your world. I encourage you, as I said, before you get out of bed, to think about some things that are working well that you're grateful for. And I encourage you to go through this, to do this throughout the day. It's something you can um, ask other people in your environment to do with you, to make those lists. And the same thing at night. We tend to focus when we go to bed about the things we have to do the next day or what went wrong. Let's shift that to what went right, what we got done, and what we feel good about. I'm not for one moment asking you to deny sadness or pain because those things need to be expressed and processed in safe, healthy ways. What I'm asking you to do is to also make room for the healing and the joy and the nurturing, the caretaking for you. Because if we don't take care of ourselves, we don't have the resources, the ability to take care of the people we love. I want you to know that you matter. I want you to know you are not alone. Thinking about you, wishing you a day of gentle peace and healing. Namaste.